Psychological Profiling by Kyle Coates. The character I had was Frank William Abagnale Jr. in the movie called Catch Me If You Can. Frank was just a young boy around the age of 16 when he ran away from home. He was alone and lost in New York. This put him in a mindset for survival, and he was a keen observer who had watched his father con many people into doing exactly what he asked of them through charm and charisma. This became a staple of his persona. He took on many jobs that he would fake his qualifications for, all before the age of 18. He became a pilot, a doctor, and a lawyer. His income came from the fake checks that he would counterfeit himself, and this got him into trouble with the FBI, who would be right on his coattails the entire film. The Big Five is considered how you would rank a personality. There's openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and emotional stability. Frank ranked pretty high on most of these categories. For openness, an active imagination, aesthetic sensitivity, attentiveness to inner feelings, preference for variety, and intellect curiosity, he ranked a 5. For conscientiousness, which is organization, purposeful action, self-discipline, and a drive to achieve, he ranked around a 3. For extroversion, a talkative, assertive, and excitable person, he ranked around 5. For agreeableness, he was usually warm, friendly, and tactful in his actions, and ranked around a 4. For emotional stability, he was not able to remain stable when his parents were divorced, so I gave him a 3. How Frank expressed each of the Big Five, using quotes directly from the movie. For openness, he was always looking to expand his intellect, and wanted to learn how to write better fraudulent checks. So he would ask clerks at the desk, "Where are these numbers? So where do the checks get routed to?" Trying to figure out how to write a better, untraced check. For conscientiousness, he had a real drive to achieve more. When he had taken his fiancée back home to ask for her father's hand in marriage, the first thing he wanted to ask, he told Roger said, "Don't be afraid, ask the question you came here to ask me." And instead of asking for her hand in marriage, he said, "What would I have to do to take the bar here in New Orleans?" Trying to make himself farther into this hole. For extroversion, he was very assertive and was able to get away when the FBI walked in his room by saying, "Relax, you're late. My name is Barry Allen, U.S. Secret Service. You think you, the FBI, is the only one on this guy?" As he played off that he was not the criminal that the FBI was searching for. For agreeableness, he was always warm and friendly, and was able to get many stewardesses to fall in love by going and charming them just like his father did. "Marcy, did you drop this? It must have slipped right off your neck," he would say. For emotional stability, he became unstable a few times in this movie. When his parents got divorced, he lost it, and as well as when he was about to lose his future wife. He would say, "Brenda, you love me, right? Whether I was sick, or whether I was poor, or whether I had a different name," as he had lied to her about who he was the entire movie, trying to contain an identity that he did not have. I classified Frank as a personality disorder due to the abandonment and unstable relationship with his parents that made him feel empty and lost at the beginning of the movie. It progressed into an antisocial personality disorder due to his failure to conform to social norms and continually doing acts that were grounds for arrest and deceiving others. He would use charm and charisma to get away with whatever he felt necessary to survive. He was not able to maintain consistent work and felt no remorse for most of his actions. He was able to switch between a pilot, a lawyer, and a doctor, all within 2 years of his life, trying to find what would fit him best. To show some of the symptoms Frank experienced, I've used quotes directly from the movie. His disregard to the law was experienced in this scene when he was about to be captured in France by the French police, and Agent Hanratty had come to take care of him. Frank, you have to trust me on this. These people have been embarrassed, Frank. They're angry. You rob their banks, you steal their money, you live in their country, and I told you this was going to happen. There was no other way for it to end." And Frank still tried to not believe him and go out the door where the French police were waiting to shoot him. He also liked to use his charm on many people and deceitfulness by going and giving charisma and acting like he was more than he ever was. "Brenda, do you know if they're hiring here at the hospital?" "I'm a doctor." He lies on his application that he went to Harvard Medical School and is able to accept a job at the hospital managing interns overnight. The missing symptom that I did find in Frank was a lack of remorse. He did apologize on a couple occasions after swindling Hanratty into thinking he was Barry Allen's Secret Service. He called him on Christmas Eve and said, "I wanted to apologize for what happened out in Los Angeles." and Agent Hanratty responds with, no, you don't apologize to me. As Hanratty was not ready to accept that Frank was just a lost boy, until this point in the movie, he had swindled him at every turn. A good possible treatment plan for Frank would be psychotherapy, or talk therapy. It would allow Frank to talk to a professional and associate with society and fulfill a purpose instead of wander aimlessly looking for money and survival. This is an appropriate response because it gives him an emotional connection that is finally real and stable to go back to every time. If this treatment doesn't work, due to unwillingness to cooperate, there is always antidepressants and mood-stabling medications that would help to keep his emotions in check. This film did a decent job of portraying an antisocial personality disorder. They were able to display really well the habits of deceit and irresponsibility, but did not make his condition seem as if it were a disorder, just more of a troubled kid that wanted to escape a life of poverty. This can make us think that a disorder in real life is actually no big deal and can be easily fixed with no treatment or help, which is just not the case.